Good morning, Marv.
Hey Dee, how are you?
I'm going to let you pronounce your last name. So the first name is Mario, technically, correct?
Yeah, Mario, but yeah, I decided to put MarV because my last name is a little bit difficult for to
How
say
do
because
you pronounce it?
Vasconcelos.
How do you pronounce
Yeah,
your
that Vasconcelos.
Varscos? Oh, no. See, you were pronouncing it, and
Yeah,
I didn't even pick up on the fact that you were saying the name.
yeah, that's why I initially it was Marv, but I put the MAR for Mario and the V for Vasconcelos, and then on the live stream, Randy said I was calling myself Marv, but then Randy on one of the Breakfast Buzz shows read a comment and said Marv. So yeah, he baptized me uh, as
And it
Marv, and I
worked.
loved it. So yeah, and I
It
loved it. Yeah,
totally
Marv
worked.
is better than Marv is. Yeah.
Well, and I remember when I first came across you, I think after you were on in my chat on a live stream, there was another Marv around in our parts, and I got the two of you confused because there were two Marvs, and I'm like, yeah, no, I get the distinction
Yeah,
now. Um,
yeah, that's why the V, the capital V, in the Ron
Ronnie's
is here.
watching.
Hey.
Ronnie says, "What's up, friends?" Okay, so I know you have attended and been here for some of the spotlight shows with the masters, and so you may know some of these questions, and I know you've answered some of them in chat, but I'm gonna pretend I've never heard an answer from you in my life. So this first part of the show is called Spitlights. It's a form of spitballing, and it's my way of getting to know, like getting you warmed up for bigger questions and getting to know Marv.
Okie dokie.
Um, if you could pick one spirit animal, any animal, or a creature, what would it be and why?
Man, a wolf or a crow, especially the
Ooh.
crow. But if it wasn't the crow, it will be the wolf. If it wasn't the wolf, it would be a crow or a
So
raven. They are
tell me the
similar, yeah.
crow. Tell me the why behind the crow first. Is it from the movie?
No, before that, before when I was a
Okay.
kid, I always loved everything dark. So
Mm.
yeah, everything the night, everything creatures, bats and wolves and werewolves and warlocks and witches, all that stuff, and
Okay.
yeah,
Is that
all those mythical creatures from the dark. I always loved it since I was a kid. So and the crow is a great mythological creature with the Vikings and all the cultures. So
right?
that's an animal that I really enjoy because of it is a wisdom. It represents wisdom, and
Mm.
I always saw it as a mysterious animal and misunderstood, like the wolf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can totally see that. And did you like, or did you ever read Edgar Allan Poe's poem? It's a poem called the Raven.
No, I haven't. No, I haven't. Unfortunately, but I'm gonna check it out.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, if I could think of anything, any writer on this planet to recommend to you, being someone describing liking the dark things, liking those dark mystic things, Edgar Allan Poe is so your alley, man. Like he's so your, and it's really rad. Like you can actually listen to his entire works on audio if you wanted, with Audible, with the app. And I only know this because
Nice.
I got the app so I could listen to other books, but then when I was just curious one day, and Edgar Allan Poe was in there, and I'm like, ooh, and I take the Raven, yeah, because that's another word for crow is the Raven,
Yeah.
and yeah, I would highly recommend that for you. Okay,
Yeah,
you're gonna
I will. Yeah.
speaking of movies, or no, we weren't talking about movies, but you go to movies. What's the go-to movie treat for you? Like, what's that thing you're gonna want, to munch on while you're at the movies?
I like simple movies. I don't like those like the MCU or DCU movies anymore because it's always the same premise, always the same thing. So I got a little bit enough of superhero movies. But I like movies, dark movies like The Crow, The Thing, The Howling, The Exorcist, and I
So those,
really enjoy cop movies too. But cop movies, darker cop movies, stuff like man. I consider The Shield a cop dark series
that was a TV
because
show,
of the
right?
psychological.
They were
Yeah.
corrupt cops or something. The question is about what you eat at the movie, but I like this. I like where this is going, the genre of movies, or what movies do you like? But this is, what are you gonna eat? What are you gonna eat,
Sorry.
Marv?
Sorry, I don't understand. Didn't understand the
It's
questions. What
okay.
makes me go
We're
to
good.
to
I love
what makes?
movies. I could talk about movies all day. No, but
Yeah, me
what?
too. So what I really love about movies, to see what a movie.
No, what? Okay, maybe it's a like go-to treat: popcorn, chocolate, red vine.
Ah,
What kind of what's the thing you have to munch on while you're watching a movie?
my wife and I have always, not always, but most of the time, chocolate's gotta be there.
Hmm.
So yeah, chocolate
Any
have to be there, or some kind of chocolate related, anything chocolate related. So yeah, that's what
anything
we
chocolate
usually
related?
have.
That
Yeah,
sounds like a good
chocolate
answer. I think
related.
it's a pretty safe bet. If you go with anything chocolate related, it's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I know you named a bunch of movies, you named some genres of movies, but what's that one number one movie above all the other movies you're going to recommend that someone watch?
That's hard because
Hard, right?
I can think about five of them. If nobody saw like Midnight Mid Train, or yeah, that's wonderful if you love horror. Or The Crow, the original one,
The
The
original.
Howling, the original one, um,
I like the
Blade,
original. Blade. Ooh.
especially the second one, and then the other great classics like Godfather,
Mm.
Godfather. What's that name? Because here we use different names of the original title. They translate so badly. If I tell you
Oh,
a couple of them, you will laugh. You will laugh for hours.
what's the
Uh,
primary what's the primary language in your country?
Portuguese. Portuguese, because that Portuguese Brazilian from Brazil, that's a different kind of language. A lot of people translate stuff in Portuguese, but when you're going to read it, it's in Brazilian. So there's
And
a misunderstood of
Portuguese,
the Portuguese language outside Portugal. Yeah.
right? And Portuguese isn't the one. It's not the country that's got a dialect similar to French, right?
No.
Okay, because I know there's.
We
I've
have
heard.
another dialect, like a primitive dialect, but you don't get anything of that. If you're Portuguese, you don't understand even a single word. It's like Spain have a region. Spain is have a region that is Catalan, I believe, and it's nothing to do with Spanish. It's a different kind of language, totally different. Even
Okay,
yeah, Spanish people don't understand Catalan, and it's very different from Spanish. But it's
right.
in the
Yeah.
same country. It's yeah.
Well, like they spoke French down the bayou where I grew up, but their French is this Cajun Creole slang thing that's nothing like you're not going to go to France
Like
and hear that.
like the Canadian French, right?
That's a whole,
It's a
and
little bit different.
Canadian French is all different too. It's very different.
Yeah, yeah.
Cajun, Cajun and Creole are very different. And people will people will talk about Louisiana or certain parts of Louisiana, and they'll say Cajun or they'll say Creole, thinking that they're the same thing, and they're not the same at all. They're very, very different. They have similarities, but even the language, I get what you're saying, because there's people that I know I grew up with that probably what they call Cajun French, but would not be able to hold a conversation with someone from Canada or France. Probably not.
Yeah, I tried to. I saw a movie a couple of years ago, a cop movie, and it was a French Canadian movie, and I had to read the subtitles because most of the part I wasn't. The movie was great. Actually, I saw the first and second one, cop movie, and it was magnificent, and I really enjoyed it. But I had that problem of of that French, that because I grew up in France and I know perfectly French, but that type of French, it's very, very hard to understand, and they mixed a lot of words in English and French, and yeah, that's very hard to understand. Yeah.
Okay, so this is, a question that I'm curious. We're on movie talk, so do you like musicals? Are there any musicals you like? And if there are, what's your favorite?
No, I don't like musicals for
Like,
for one thing, because it takes me away from the movie. When everybody is dancing at the same time, when you're investing in the story. I tried to see that movie with Johnny Depp, the one that is a barber.
Oh,
And yeah, I was trying to see that, but then when we start to sing, or Les Miserables, also, I know it's a great movie, but I can't see the realism of that when you're watching it, because man, I just can't.
yeah, I have
If it's a movie like Dirty Dancing, because it's about dance, or the other one with J Lo how is what's the name of that guy who did Richard Gere, that kind of movie. Okay, they are dancing. There's nothing extra supernatural thing about that. Everybody knows the choreography and whatnot. That kind of movie I can enjoy. I can enjoy. But the musical, the movie that is a musical, the genre, I can't watch it, because it goes away of the realism of the story. So that.
Yeah, I don't think you could join us today. That we had one of the art painting streams, and the question, I was just making conversation for the guys in the stream, and someone said Little Shop of Horrors. What about that one? Do you know that movie?
Yeah, that's different. That's a comedy. Yeah, for me it's different, because that's a comedy, and that's a comedy.
It's almost told in a way of being a parody, but it's not a parody.
And it's a comedy, but that's a different. In a musical, is different. It's different in my point of view, because it's a comedy.
Right. But I was thinking
good
about
one. Good one.
Yeah, but a good one, right? Like, I was thinking that would be something you'd like because of the subject matter. I couldn't get into that one with Johnny Depp either, mostly because I have something on my insides turns when cannibalism comes up, and I can't watch it. I can't watch. I know we're both wearing Vader. This was not planned, everyone. It was so not planned at all. This is literally my 7 a.m. I am not getting ready or prettied up for, no offense, but Marv, but I'm like, I just woke up. This is my shirt. Okay, so sneakers or boots?
Well, that's a tough one, because when that's a tough one, because
do you wear
in my daily life, I prefer boots.
Sorry.
But sneakers is only for just to be comfortable. But if I have to go somewhere else, I have to. It's the mix between boots and sneakers. I use the. I don't know how to call it. It's a sneaker, but also it's a boot. So I don't know how to call it. But yeah.
But if you had to pick, would you be in the boots?
Yes.
Okay.
Doc Martens or something like that.
Okay. And I don't know what the thing is in your country, but like hoodies, do you like hoodies or jackets? Or
I like them both.
You like them both? Okay.
I like them both. Yeah. Either way. Yeah.
Yeah, I might have like one or two. I like. Do you like pea coats? Do you know what a pea coat is?
No.
It's a form of it's like a suit jacket almost, but it's a different type of material. It was originally used in the Navy, in the different countries, but the pea coat it's an old classic, and it is one of my favorite kind of coats to wear. But I'm a hoodie girl.
Like Assassin's Creed, that kind of coat with a hoodie.
No.
You know the leather with the hoodie. No.
I'm gonna go find after the show later today. I'm gonna find an example of a pea coat that I know you'd love, because have you ever seen the TV show called Peaky Blinders?
No.
Okay. Now I want to say some of what they wear are pea coats, but a lot of what they wear are more like trench coats, like but a suit, like a suit trench coat, not like a rain trench coat. I'm gonna go flash the public, but one of those. It's for a suit, but okay. Are you a morning person or night person?
I have to be a morning person because of my day job, but if I have to choose, I will be a night person.
Okay. Now I don't know what the thing is in your country, but olives or pickles?
Tough one. To watch a movie and having fun with my wife watching movie, it will be pickles.
Or no, just any old time of the year, whatever it is you prefer. Or
pickles. Yeah.
Pickles. Yeah. I don't know what kind of cheeses you have there. This is the question, but is there
all kind of cheese?
Let's just say I mean, I don't know who wants to only pick one kind of cheese, but is there a favorite?
Cheese, all of them.
All of them. All of the above, right? That is like that's the go-to answer. Okay, ham or turkey, or what kind of meat?
Ham.
Ham? Ooh, you were right on your ham. We're not even. That's awesome. Okay, so that is the end of your first round. You survived. We're gonna get a little more serious, a little more up there in the questions. Okay, Marv. I'm going to go ask the wife. I'm going to ask the friends, the coworkers to tell me things about Marv. What are the 3 things you strive to be as a person, so that if I come to any of those people and ask them to describe you, what do you hope they say about you?
Well, basically in my personal life, you can ask my wife or her daughter. But besides that, I'm a totally different person outside my house. Not that I keep my personal life and my private life separated. So, yeah. And
how would you hope that they describe you if I say, what kind of person is Marv?
Well, if you go to my work, to my day job, I think people would say that I'm a very, let's say, helpful guy. I like to work. I'm very demanding with myself, and I hope that the others understand the kind of work they are doing with me. And I am always available to help everybody. I'm always fun with everybody, from 7 a.m. to 3:30. We are a team that we have fun every day. Even our work is hard and very demanding, psychologically and physically, but we are like that kind of person. We are always having fun when we must have fun. Also, when even when our work is demanding, just to break the ice. And what I really love people to say about me is that I'm a guy that cares about the other people being well in their day job. That's, yeah, I want to be
I can
comfortable with
definitely.
everybody, and I like to everybody be comfortable with me, and I don't mind to tell things 5, 6, 10 times as long as you're interested in the job. So yeah, that's what I really enjoy. I would love to people to say that guy is a good guy to work with. Yeah, that's the thing that
I definitely know, as someone who gets the honor of being your friend today. I call you friend. I would call you friend. You're really supportive, very very supportive of your friends, and that is good to let, whether it's a workplace or friendships, when you let someone know, or you can have that. And it's really important. What I loved about what you said, for me, I totally get it. It's important to be able to get the job done and work as a team to get a job done, but also know how to have fun as well.
Yeah,
Because
and we have lots of fun. You have
because
lots of fun every time.
that can be difficult for some people, because some people want to be all business, or they want to just be joking around all the time. So Brianna is here. She says, hey, how is everyone doing? And of course,
Every
Ronnie told Brianna, hello, what's up? Okay, this is a big one. If, okay, the key word is if. I'm not saying that you have to believe any certain way, but if heaven does exist, what do you hope that God's going to say to you when you get there?
Well, do you want to get back?
Do what?
Do you want to get back?
Do you want to get back? Ooh, okay. Like he's going to make you get questioned at the door. You don't get to go in, and is that what you
Yeah, do
mean?
you want to go back? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
do you want to come back? Oh, that's an interesting one. Like, kind of like you get to, like, right off the bat, they're gonna like go, "Hey, do you want to be reincarnated? Do you believe in reincarnation?"
Mm, no, I don't.
Okay.
No, unfortunately, I don't. I say unfortunately because I would love to believe that, but yeah, I would if that exists, if God existed. Yeah, first of all, I would love to know his opinion about me, and then I would love him to
That's,
kick me
you
out
just answered the
back to
next
Earth again.
question. And you just answered the next
Yeah.
question, which is, what are you going to ask God? And you just said it. You're like, what is your opinion of me? That's a good one.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of different answers to that question, but that's pretty unique. You said that even before I asked it. Okay. Some people don't like answering this question, Marv, but I'm going to think a guy who wrote a book called The Sin Killer can probably answer this question without getting too, I don't know. But if you had the power, we give you the ability to send someone to hell, or a type of person to hell. Who are you sending to hell?
Oh man, if I was John, there would be a huge list. Yeah, if I had Michael and Gabriel by my
Don't
side.
say any
Oh
names.
man.
Don't say any names. But
No, I'm just not names, not people that I actually know, just like John does. John don't knows anyone unless Michael and Gabriel just find them. So yeah, those kind of bad people, you know what I'm talking about. The
yeah,
the
and
the the worst kind of people. Yeah, that would be the. Personally, I would love to do something like John does.
yeah, I that is probably the most common answer. Child molesters is the most common answer for this question on my show.
Yeah.
So Christopher
Yeah, that
got
will be number one. Yeah.
he's commenting back on the part about musicals. He said the problem why some musicals don't work is imagine Star Wars as a musical. Good point. Some movies you forget that it's a musical. And he and I talked about this. He was on my show Thursday night, and we just talked about that the best musicals are the ones that are a musical, but you don't realize they are. So I think Little Shop of Horrors is probably in that category. Would you agree that, like,
Yeah.
yes, it's a movie, or excuse me, it's a musical, but you don't even realize it or recognize it at first.
And
Really.
it's fun, and it's fun to watch it. You know, it's
Yeah.
fun. You go with the mood. You know, you go with the mood and all the great acting, the great puppet work
Right.
that they did there. And when I was a kid, I really enjoyed watching Fred Astaire. I really
Oh,
loved. I think, yeah, I think I saw
love
all
Fred
these
Astaire.
movies.
Did you
Yeah,
watch
and that's that,
Fred Astaire and
and
Jinx
that's a
Rock?
different kind. Yeah, yeah.
What about Singing in the Rain? Did you ever see that musical?
Twice or three times, something like that, just to see that part.
There's just so
Yeah.
many classics. There's so many good ones. Okay, what else we got here? So, oh, dang it. Ronnie says Mario got to do early shows, so you can come on Comics de la Muerte sometime soon.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You bet on that.
Right? I'd be
Oh
able to
yeah.
do the Star Wars musical if they'd write a new story and characters especially for it. Okay. Like where like it's not about the whatever the storyline, but did new ones. But can you imagine Vader breaking out in song? You guys,
he will die of
Marv,
he will die
Marv's
of a
wearing
stroke
a Vader.
before before
We're
dancing.
both wearing Vader shirts, and we did not plan it. Okay, we did not have that conversation. What did she say? No musical wifeification of the original movies. Oh, I totally get it. Like what she's saying is don't take a movie that wasn't a musical and then turn it into a musical.
That's a good one.
Vader would not be a character in that musical, no. And she said LOL. Okay. So I'm gonna switch us to some other stuff I want to ask. Okay. The greatest turn on. What's your greatest turn on, Marv?
That means I don't know. I don't know what that means.
You get to interpret it however you want to interpret it. Or what gets you excited? What's your I know that you like things dark and dark stuff and all that jazz, but do you have a hobby other than art?
No, no. I watch movies and series. We both love horror and science fiction, so that's it in comics. Nothing more. We don't have. No. My wife does some puppets too, but yeah, we keep it simple. Just a couple of things. I don't know anything about. I'm not a handyman. My wife is better than me than that. But no, besides comics, art and movies, no, we don't have nothing else.
I'm gonna point out the fact that I asked you about greatest turn-ons, and everything in what you just said was we, and it was about you
Yes.
and it was about you and your wife. And I adore that. I adore that because he answered the question without even answering the question. If you guys have noticed, it's clearly your wife.
Basically we do everything together.
I'm
So
just
yeah.
saying, when you
Yeah.
talk in we sentences like that, yeah, it's pretty clear. Is there anything that's a turn off?
Uh, well, she likes soap operas. I'm not into soap operas. She
Drama.
doesn't like heavy metal, but we both like everything 80s related music and movies. So yeah, that's it.
Would it be safe to say that if it turns your wife on, it's going to turn you on?
Yeah.
I thought so. Okay. What's your favorite cuss word?
Damn, maybe. I don't know if that's a curse word.
Damn is a
But
cuss
yeah.
word. Technically, it's
Yeah.
a mild.
Damn. Yeah.
Damn. What's your least favorite? Is there one?
No, particularly, no.
Yeah, I
I
like all
can hear everything. I can hear anything, and that doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
If it's a joke or something like you're a good motherfucker. That doesn't bother me.
Same. I love all cussing. I even like the C word. None of them bother me. Ronnie said a musical about the band from Jabba's Palace.
Wow, yeah. That one is
Right.
it's a good one, Ronnie. Yeah.
Okay. What activity do you love to do? And you've already kind of answered this. I don't think that is there anything you haven't told me that you like to do? I know you've just given me pretty much your whole entire sketch, like movies and art and comics and what you do with your wife. But
yeah, that's it. Yeah. And what I don't like to do and I hate to do is everything hand related, I'm not a handyman. If I have to do something, well, my wife is painting right now the doors, the kitchen door and living room door, because she's better than me doing that, So that's the thing that I hate to do. I don't know how. I love to cook, and I hate making anything related to fixing something or whatever, something like that. I'm not a MacGyver kind of guy, so the rest.
You don't have to be. Because I'm not a guy, and I don't think it matters gender really, but I can't fucking stand that shit either. I 100% am like you, Marv, and I don't know if it's a creatives thing, but I got no interest. Can I paint a wall or paint a door? Yes, and I don't want to. I want to paint a canvas. Although maybe I would. I haven't got to this question yet, but what's the biggest art piece you've done? Do you know the size or dimensions of the biggest piece you've ever done?
I have one next to me, maybe a meter and
It's one you've done? You're looking at
once.
Can you show it? You're looking at something. Can you show it?
Yeah, but the room is dark. But yeah, I can.
This is what I do to people. I want to see the art. No offense, Marv, but I want to see the art. Let me turn this on here. This might. Oh, wow.
The lighting is not good, but this is one of the canvas. This is one of the two canvas that I kept from my early days of painting. It's an abstract, and I really love this one.
Do you hang it like this in the vertical fashion, or do you hang it horizontal?
No, in vertical. Yeah, I love the tones, but unfortunately this is better. Yeah.
Oh, there's pieces of it that make me think of a shark or a dolphin. Like I'm actually seeing part of a whale. I'm seeing like parts of a whale. That's one of my favorite kinds of you've seen my art. You know what I like, but and the one part of that. See, I love it when I see something in the painting, but then if I keep looking, I'm going to keep seeing stuff. Those are some of the best paintings. I don't suppose you know the size of that. Ronnie said, "Sweet."
It's about 130. I have the size behind. 60 centimeters by a meter and 20. I don't know how that's in inches, but yeah, 1 meter and 20 high, 60 centimeters wide.
And then
I did bigger, but this one is the only one, the one of the two that I kept.
That you kept.
Yeah.
Are you gonna intend to keep it, or do you think you'd ever sell it?
I don't know because I stopped doing exhibitions a long time ago, and I'm not going back to that. So I don't know. Maybe I'll keep it. Maybe I'll just. I don't
Well,
know. Seriously, honestly, I don't
you,
know.
you don't know. You don't know. I mean, you are the man who went from that fine art and doing what you do to digital work and your own comic book. You might want to 2 years, 3 years from now, Marv, you might be like, I need a canvas and I want a canvas and I want to paint a canvas right now.
No, 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 no,
You don't think
no.
that'll let
No. I'm not going back to painting again. No, I'm not
okay.
because I want to do comics. I want to write. I have another book done, written, a horror
I'm not
story.
I'm not gonna question you. I'm just saying there's nothing that says you can't do both because that's what I'm doing.
No, because I really don't. It was a part of my career, if I can call that. That everybody that I knew was a painter, so I had to be one. And
Oh,
nobody was into comics. There was a dear friend of mine that loved comics, but he was also painting like me. And yeah, everybody, my group of friends back then they were all painters, and
I that
I
makes
was
sense.
with them, and I was always with them, and I was painting, and I learned how to paint, and I did exhibitions with them, and other exhibitions alone or with my wife, and yeah, one day I just
Yeah,
quit that, and I don't want to go back because it wasn't me first of all, and also I didn't like the community. Besides that group of people that I was painting with, the
right.
rest was they were. I didn't like the environment, and I just quit that.
Well, that makes a lot more sense when you explain it like that. When you explain it not being something that was really more about what you love doing, that makes perfect sense to me. You know, I'm going to understand that because I don't create anything unless there's some kind of a some kind of drive, and it's usually love. Love is the primary thing that's going to drive me to create whatever it is I'm creating, whatever it is. All of it for me.
Mhm.
Okay, biggest pet peeve, Marv. Do you know what a pet peeve is?
No.
It's okay. So pet peeve is a term we use for something that bugs the fuck out of us. Like I can't stand one of the best things that came out of this COVID world, and I don't know what they did in your country, but here with COVID, they put these lines on the floor in the grocery store, so you have to stand 6 feet apart. Did they do that in your country?
Yeah, but it doesn't bother me. It
I
didn't
would.
bother me. It bothers me to wear the mask a little bit, but also it's something that I got used to. But it bothers me to forget about the mask at home, and I have to go back just to get one.
I did the lines. I love the lines. I was ecstatic when the lines came out. I don't. I don't like COVID, and I'm not happy with the fact that people got sick and people are dying from it. But I want the lines on the store floor to stay there forever.
Yeah, you don't
You know,
have
people
nobody is
sick
breathing
blood.
behind your neck. Yeah,
Yes, you get me. You get what I'm talking about. That is my biggest pet peeve. Are the fucking people in a grocery store or any line standing right the fuck here? And I'm like, get it. This is personal space. Do you not understand personal space? Get
yeah,
off of me. You didn't even buy me dinner and you're expecting to be up all in there.
yeah.
Okay. What is we got here? So Joe D from the desk of a small press publisher says nice. And I don't know at what point Joe came in. I don't know if he saw your painting that you were holding up. Everyone have their gateway into art before they get to the medium that they like. I
Right.
would definitely I can relate to that. I have a lot of mediums that I like. I have a lot of mediums that I use. Um photography just happened to be the first one.
Yeah, I've
And
done
then
that too. Yeah.
yeah, and then I got into poetry and art and all that other stuff. And now, as you know, Marv, I dabble in all of them, but that is me. If so, because I get asked that every now and then, what would I do, or what would you want to do more than anything? Just give me canvas and paint. But it took. I didn't start on canvas painting. That's one of the biggest differences. Okay, so that basically brings us to all of the questions I have in here. But I do have some questions that I ask. Oh, I know. I know you've seen me ask other people this question, so I'm going to go ahead and throw it up there. So this is a quote, and the quote says, "Fuck being average. I'm a goddamn savage." There's your damn word. Do you like damn by itself, or is goddamn okay?
Fine.
Okay.
Either way.
So this quote here is he's he's just expressing he's not going to be average. So the sin killer, absolutely the last, that title, there's not anything average about it. Okay, that title gets your attention. Where did the title come from?
It just came out of the blue. Yeah, out of the blue. I don't remember if it was listening Dave Matthews Band, Gravedigger, or if it was listening to Pantera, Cemetery Gates, something between that, or Ozzy Osbourne. It was something between, or Iron Maiden, something between those. Because he's a priest. I think every time I think of a priest, I think about sin. And maybe it was something between that. Something between that. Yeah, Pantera, Ozzy.
I mean, I don't. You know how I feel about spoilers. Do not spoil the story for me. Okay, but your character in your book is a priest.
Yes, you know that he's a priest, but I'm not telling you that he is a priest.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
But you figure it out.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like, trust me, I'm that one girl that will not complain. I will never complain when someone says, I'm not telling you an answer to, especially, yeah, I probably won't even want to ask. Ronnie says, I'm health ambassador at work, so it's my job to make people are being safe with COVID and accidents in the store. I totally understand. People should respecting boundaries. I think he means boundaries. Yeah. Like I have no opinion about it, and I don't like to talk about any of that stuff during many of my spotlight shows, but we were on the topic of pet peeves, and that standing too close thing, that's, I want those lines in the store to stay there. I don't ever want them to go away. I really do. I want them to stay on the floor.
But if you turn that into comics related, that's another thing, totally different. I hate. It's not that I hate. I really don't care because I don't buy from them since last century. So what Marvel and DC are doing right now, and Netflix, those swap things and those bad adaptations of beloved franchises, that used to bother me a lot. But now I really don't care because there's something more than Marvel, DC, and all those stuff. We have indie comics. We have a lot of European comics, Japanese comics. So if Marvel and DC continues to do their thing, just destroying my favorite comic character's legacy, I don't mind anymore because all my superheroes of my great inspirations are from the 70s and 80s. So today it doesn't bother me if they turn everybody gay or if they turn everybody black. Nothing that I have anything against those, because I have lots of friends from different kind of skin color and creed. But what they are doing is, in my opinion, a bad thing for the industry, and they are people working for them, and they don't care about the people who are working for them, because the
I got no.
writers do their
I don't.
thing and the artists are making are drawing the comics. The artists are going to be the one hurt from that thing, not the
What's
writers.
interesting? What's interesting is that this quote here. Okay, the quote that I put up, the fuck being average, I'm a goddamn savage. This came from a man, Van Bates, Black Hesher. He was a rap, hip hop, punk, grunge, hip hop. He had a lot of different genres to his music. And why I put his name back up and why I put the quote back up, Marv, is because Marv, that's exactly him. Like he had his own, he created his own fucking label. He's like, screw you guys. He had a record deal, never got paid. He got fucking screwed over by big corporations, big music, all these different things. I don't know.
Like usually that happens, yeah.
Like it usually happens. I don't know all those stories. He touched on them, and there's someone knows the stories. But so Van said, fuck that. He was he's like us. He totally we would get along. He would get along. He's a writer. He could have totally written a comic book for fuck sure. But that's exactly why I do a lot of what I do that led me to knowing people like you this year is this man, because he believed you buy from Bandcamp, you buy directly from a living artist. You don't buy art from a dead man. He was that guy. Like he was that guy. You buy art, comic books from independents who are not selling out to some big fucking corporation somewhere. And I was all about that. That's all. I'm all. I bought in.
The big corporations like Marvel, let's say Marvel or DC, whatever. If you want to buy something, an original art from an artist that worked there that passed away, the money will go to Marvel. It won't go to the family.
And and that has a lot to do. You and I have never talked about this, but that has a lot to do with why I don't want to do art that I don't know. I don't do fan art. I don't do pop culture art. I did a Joker recently. I did my very first Joker, but that was because I wanted to learn the technique that he was using, and I was like, well, the Joker's that actually is a character of all the characters I can think of in the comic book world. Not my favorite character. Like I'm not one of those people that likes the Joker, but I am a stand-up comedian. And I 100% relate to the insanity of the Joker. Because if you don't know this, or we've got quite an audience watching right now. I'm never happy. Like this is always fake. Like everything in here is dark as fuck, man. Like I can't wait to read your book, and I can't wait to have it in my hands. I see the way you do your art in the dark and the, Edgar Allan Poe, the guy I told you about, Stephen King, Anne Rice, the darker the better, man. Because one of the reasons I even got into stand-up comedy was because stand-up comedy was the one way that I could express myself artistically that was lighter or brighter than what's in here. Because what's in here is some deep, dark Vader shit, man. It's not good. It's not
but now even stand-up comedy is being pushed back a little bit because comics are not allowed to say a lot of things right now.
Oh, I know, Marv. I performed this year for the first time in like 13 years, right? And I call ahead because I know what kind of snowflakes we live with in our country, in our world now. Okay.
I heard you talk about that, and it's very sad that happened.
Oh, about how so you heard that where he told me I couldn't cuss. Not a lot of cussing and not a lot. Okay. And I was like, what kind of comedians have you ever listened to if you don't think, it's like, what? it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay. So,
And that's very funny because let me just say one thing. We lived under a dictatorship for 50 years. And my father-in-law told me that he was a military guy. He was a prison guard. And he told me, and my wife told me several times, that when they were talking about politics, they usually open the door and see if somebody was outside listening to their conversation. But that was in a dictatorship, but that's why democracy is not in democracy anymore, in my opinion. And what is happening in this side, you can go to a show and listen to the comedian, and that's funny, and that it doesn't mean to insult anybody. That's just comedy, But now what is happening in the United States is, in this side of the world, you see the United States, a very different United States as it was in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, Eddie Murphy wasn't able to do that amazing show that he did with his red suit like Michael Jackson. If he was to do that amazing show, he would be crucified today. And that's a shame, because he talked about racism, homosexuality in a way so funny. And today you can't do that kind of joke because, everybody gets offended. And that's a shame, because nobody understands comedy anymore.
Exactly. And I have, I don't know if you know this or not, but I started my webtoons. I have a webtoons where I put my stand-up comedy, and I do have aspirations to do a comic book at some point. Right now, I'm doing a webtoons. I'm taking my stand-up comedy. I'm taking my comedy of 16. I have 16 years of writing, and it's all written. And now what I'm doing is I'm taking the written joke and I'm expanding upon it and turning it more into a script-like type thing for webtoons. And a lot of them I can't do. Like, a lot of them, even if I try to water it down and clean it up so that it's family friendly, because you have to be family friendly on webtoons, you can't, it's pointless. Some of my jokes are that graphic. They're just that graphic. And they would never work on webtoons because it would get me banned. It would be like,
yeah. Can you imagine Joe Rogan or other
exactly. And
doing
I
a show?
Yeah. And then so I had this moment where I was going to scrap the whole thing. I was like, well, fuck it. I'll just go. Because originally I was going to do a calendar. And it was going to be just a simple calendar that people, like a 365 joke calendar, like you tear off a joke a day thing, Have you ever seen those? I was going to do a calendar. I could do 2 or 3 years worth of calendars with my jokes. Okay, I have that much comedy. But a comic book sounded fun and sounded like you could get, stories out of it. But not if they're censored. The problem is, or not the problem. So a little piece of me wanted to scrap the whole idea because my comic book would not, trust me, it will piss off all the right people because I don't give a fuck. I got some of my jokes. I got no care about your feelings, some of my comedy.
You gotta be like that, because if you take everything,
that's the whole
personal
point. So Christopher says, instead of creating new material, they try to reinvent old stuff instead of giving life to new creators. So
now they are destroying old stuff.
And I'm going to say it, and I don't want you to be offended, Marv. And if I do offend you or anyone listening, you guys contact me personally directly, because I will apologize. But this is why drawing fan art, pop culture art, angers me immensely. The fact that
I used to do that, but
I can stand next to someone who's drawn 50 fucking Jokers, and someone will want to buy their Joker instead of one of my paintings. That infuriates me because It's a fucking Joker. Jokers are a dime a fucking dozen. Oh, you think, and this is where my head goes, Marv, please. This is getting on a soapbox. Who fucking
No,
cares? It's never fucking Joker. None of my art is like, there's no duplication here, man. There's no duplication in my art. And that's what angers me about so much fucking attention, even given to the classics. No offense, but that's the truth.
No. I used to do fan art. I did a lot of fan art. I sell a lot of fan art, Superman and all that stuff. But then I thought that, why am I doing this? Because everybody is doing this. This is not mine. So why am I drawing this character that it was drawn a million times in a million different ways, but only one guy drew the Sin Killer, and he's from Peru, and I put that fan art in the book because I loved it. Why I'm not creating my stuff? Why do I have to draw Superman or Batman or whatever? So that's why I stopped making that. I will do it if somebody paid me to do it, of course. And that was how I learned how to draw realistically, by doing those characters. But now I will not do it unless somebody pays me. I will happily draw, I don't know, Death from Only Death Can Save Us, or Incantessi, or Life on Korra, or something like that. I would love to do that, because nobody knows. First of all, nobody knows about it, and if it's fresh and new, you will stop scrolling. And what's this? If you see a Batman, I'll follow many artists on Instagram, and when they do something like Superman or Batman or whatever, I continue to do that. Unless it's Conan, I'll stop if it's Conan. But when it's Superman, Batman, whatever, Spider-Man, I'll just continue. I don't watch it. But if I see something different, something from there, I'll stop.
Is that what made you stop
I'll put my like. Sorry?
I don't even remember. I was gonna say, is that why you stopped when you found me painting that one day on my art stream? Because I guarantee you I was not doing a Batman. I don't know what I was working on that day, but I know I was painting.
I don't remember what I was doing.
I don't know what I was doing, but it was probably a page for the haiku book, or it was a page for the other book. But I know I was working on one of them. Brianna says, Dutch comedians say everything, and the more sarcasm, irony, and harshness, the more popular they are. Apparently, we are a blunt people. And this is cultural things have a lot to do with it, and times and age have a lot to do with it. It kind of baffles me how we live in a world with so much youthful insanity about the way some of the kids are allowing themselves to live their lives, but yet that same generation gets so easily offended, and I'm like, I don't understand.
That's because.
So let's go back. No, it's okay. We're gonna round up. We're gonna round down to this is the last question, and I think you answered this, although I did segue you into talking about Sin Killer. But what is that? What you plan on? Am I guessing correctly that getting out of fine art, doing your own comic book, is that your thing to get out of being ordinary, or to be something different? Would you say?
Because if you do like everybody is doing right now, like fan art, that's not my thing anymore, because everybody was doing it, and one thing that I've learned is that the more you go away from those characters, those beloved characters, because everybody loves Spider-Man and all those characters, the more you go away and the more you find yourself, in my opinion,
Mm.
because you're doing
Well,
something yours.
yeah, I do fine art, but I don't do character fine. There's no characters. And I have one fine art painting on canvas that's an actual character, and it's the widow from the TV show called Into the Badlands. Did you ever watch that show?
No, I never saw it.
Yeah, I would suspect you'd like it. The main character is named Sunny, and it's got a lot of martial arts in it. A lot of martial arts, and there's a character from the TV show. She's called the Widow, and she's a female ninja type character, knows martial arts and stuff. She's the only one I've done on canvas that's an actual character. None of, yeah. I did do a painting years ago of a called Roar. It was a depiction of Katy Perry, but she was a geisha girl. So I don't think it counts because I don't do realistic art. I don't do. Can I? I know that
But
I can.
that thing, that thing that you said about Katy Perry as a geisha, that's funny because, like, for instance, it came to my mind. I love Axl Rose, I love Guns N' Roses, and I was thinking about Axl as a cowboy, you know. So that's that's very interesting. That's very interesting.
It was
take a concept, take a person, and change it to a different type of things. Very interesting.
It was a Bob Ross thing. Do you know who Bob Ross is?
Yeah. Happy Trees.
Yes, Happy Trees. So I was painting. I wanted to do this picture of Katy Perry, and it was a picture I had found, a point of reference of her holding some flowers. And at some point, and because I have no plan, when it comes time to paint, I almost never have a plan. Oh, hi, Phil. Phil's here. Phil says, hey, Doris and Marv. At some point, I needed to cover up a mistake of some kind, and her face ended up being white. And then I stepped back and went, ooh, this would look really pretty as like a geisha girl idea because of the flowers combined with her black hair, something about a combination of the black hair, the makeup, and the flowers.
Creating.
And
that's creating.
That is what gets me hot. Like, that's what gets me all about art, all into it. But I have to admit, I will never, ever willingly draw another fucking Spider-Man. Fuck that guy. I drew one for Pops' grandkid. I drew one for Pops' grandson. That's enough for me. But Marv,
but that's a good idea. Picking somebody who does, let's say, music like Katy Perry and put her in another context. That's awesome. You should do that more times.
On my website, I actually, for the first time in my entire life, am willing to do commission fine art. Never been interested before. I make it very clear in my description that I'm an abstract realist, abstract symbolist. That's my art. So whatever you're going to ask me to do, I'm going to aspire to do it. But my buyer has to understand it's not coming at them looking like a fucking photograph. It's not going to happen. I've done portraits. I've done a few portraits, so I know I can, but fuck that. I got no interest.
It's not your thing, yeah.
It is not my thing. I mean, the tedium of boredom, because to me that is one of the most tedious, boring things.
Unless it's a different kind of portrait, it's basically the same every time. I have commissions. I have one now. I'm working on a portrait right now, it's that thing that you can't be creative. You have to do that, and that's it. So I totally related to that. Yeah,
I'm like, no. And so it's been really fun. So I've done quite a few at this point, and it's been kind of cool because it's like you know what it is, the ones that I've done, and this is the cool part, and I wasn't expecting it. Myself and my buyers have collaborated on the pieces because I promoted it that way. I made it clear that my art's going to be that way, that it's going to be this collaboration of an abstract. And it's, I could get more. Of course, someone else needs to buy my art, but okay, enough about me. Sin Killer, tell me, I know you're going to be in fulfillment, or you're doing fulfillment, but when do you think the second one might come out?
I don't know. I'm working already on book number 2,
I
and
know.
I'm working on. Yeah, it's crazy,
I don't
and I'm
even have the
fucking
first one
tired.
yet, but I can't. I'm so excited. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you might have it. You might have it in a couple of weeks, because, and the 2 pieces also, because the your drawings are already with RJ. Everything is they are great. They arrived well there, and Mixam just told me a couple of days ago that the files are okay, and they start printing, and the 29th they will ship it to RJ. So at the end of next week, or during the other week after, you will get the book in the 2 pieces, and. I'm working on chapter number. Okay, Flash, just give me a second, because Flash just wants to get out. Sorry, just a second.
Okay.
Yes, he wants to get out. Okay,
Hi,
come on. Okay, Flash. Okay. That's it. He's always with me when I'm in drawing or whatever. But yeah, and yeah, I'm working on book 2, and I'll submit to Randy the first chapter. It's about Gabriel. It will be Gabriel the Crow. Only a story with him. Michael might appear there. I'm just thinking about putting Michael or not. But it's going to be focused. No, I'm not saying anything. It's just what I can say is that Gabriel will be a witness of a murder, and that's why the book is called The 2 Witnesses, because it's going to be with Michael, and it's related to the Bible, because Revelation, from the title of the first Sin Killer, is about the Bible too. It's a chapter of the Bible, and the 2 Witnesses are also a chapter of the Bible. So this chapter will be about Gabriel witnessing a murder, and the other chapter will be with Michael. So it's going to be lots of fun. But the first chapter, I will first of all I will do the chapters, and I will submit to Randy. And if you like it, he will put in the Indie Volt Revolt magazine. Hope so. If you like it, I would love that. And after I submit the four chapters, I will think about finishing the book and print the book. But I have to put some stuff in my head. I have to make myself a schedule, even if my hands hurt of my leg, because I have to work 100% on comics. I want to do it for a living, so I have to put that mindset that this is what I want. This is what I want to do, obviously, but I have to go pro on my schedule.
Right. So we're at that point in the interview. We're actually over time, but that's fine. I'm holding you hostage, and I don't care. Okay. So anyway, but I get to tell you, you're off of the hot seat. You're out of the spotlight. No more questions. How does it feel?
No, I'm okay. I can go for another hour.
So
I'm fine. I'm fine.
What that also means is that as a guest on my show, this is also that point in the show, Marv, where I get to tell you that you get to ask me one question. You're going to be allowed and given permission to ask me one question of your choosing. I cannot be blackmailed, and you can ask me anything. So choose your question wisely. It's like getting a free wish. It's like a genie in a bottle. So what do you want to ask? What is your question for Dori? asking
Are
me?
you thinking about collaborations, or are you just gonna keep doing what you're doing? Are you thinking about doing something totally different
Mm-hmm.
that you're doing right now, or are you
No,
going to
that's a great
continue doing what you've been doing?
So it's the answer would be both. I will continue to do creative art and painting and all that stuff the same way that I always have. I am beginning to do collaboration, as I mentioned, with my buyers. If they commission my artwork, we can collaborate on the piece. I'm
Yeah,
calling
but
it
sorry, comic book
comic
related. Sorry.
related. So when it comes to comic book related, I do have aspirations to bring the Amazon Beauty comic book to life, but I need a sequential artist to partner with, to collaborate with.
Mm-hmm.
Or as a few of you, not you personally, but a few artists have said to me, like Rich and Mike, they're like, just go learn how to do it and do it yourself, Dori. You know, could I do my own sequential art for my own comic book? Maybe.
Yes, because
Yes. Yes, he
I've
says
been
yes.
doing. Yes. Oh,
I
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I'm like, I
I
don't really
did.
want to.
I did illustrations for 10 years, and I thought that I was able to do it, and I wasn't ready. So I had to learn how to make it. And by the way, I
Yeah.
wrote The Witch, and I won't be able to draw it so far because I have tons of work to do.
Yeah.
But even if you don't, you might think you don't know how to do it because you never done it. But if
Yeah.
you try, if you understand, I know it will be easier to have $5,000
Well,
and go to someone and say, I give you 2,000 and you do this book, you do this comic for me, and I'll pay you. That will be
I'm not
the
paying
best
anything.
way to do it.
I will tell you
You
that. I can tell you that right now. Whoever, one, if I don't do it myself, if I don't do the art myself, if I don't illustrate it myself, it will be a co-partnership. It will be a partner in the comic book.
Mhm.
I got
That
no
makes
interest.
sense.
I believe it's a good enough idea, a great enough idea to make it worth the while for the artist. Okay, that's number one. And secondly, number two, I will fucking do the art myself. And this is just me. I know I'm not unique. I am not unique. But if I can learn how to do it, if I could teach myself how to do something, I'm not paying someone else to do it.
In my case, it's time. I don't have time. I
This,
worked from
yeah.
7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And then I have to rest and I have to do tons of things. And
Yeah,
that's
I
the
have
worst
more
part.
time.
That's the worst part of it.
I do. I've been in healthcare for 32 years. So to answer your question about collaboration is yes. The answer is yes. I have written. I've got so many things written. I've got so many things written. You don't even want to know. You don't want to know because it's like when people were asking me about going in demand, and I was just like you, Marv. I was like, no, I got no interest in extending this, and I got no interest in demand. I want this comic, I want this campaign to be over so I can move on to my next project. I've got 3 other books right here next to my bed that are written and waiting for me to finish. I mean, they're finished. Actually, they're finished. I just need to put them together, create the manuscript, put the art with the poems. Like, because I I think I remembered. I want to say the piece I was working on when we may originally have met was the couple that are in the tree, and the woman is pregnant. I don't know if you remember that art piece I was working on one
No,
during.
I don't. Honestly, I don't. Honestly,
It's
I
okay.
don't.
It's okay. So okay. So other than that, you're gonna show us some art and show off some art before I let you go.
Ah, yeah, sure. But are you submitting something to any publisher? Are you thinking about doing that?
I did
Only
some.
the writing. Only the writing. Only the writing.
Oh well, I submitted a written children's story to some to Mike Jimmy actually, and he's
Mhm.
yeah. Whether that's gonna go anywhere or not, I don't know, but if he doesn't publish it, or if he doesn't want to collaborate on it, or if he doesn't want to be involved in it, I'll just do it myself.
Okay.
But yeah,
Nice.
I got tons of stuff to write. I could write in my sleep, man. But yes, I can collaborate.
I can relate it to that.
You need
I
to
can
write
relate
it?
it to that. I have a
Marv? Do
sorry.
you want me to write? You want me to write you something, Marv? You need a story you want to illustrate?
I have the witch that I would love to do that. I have a short story with the sin killer talking with death. I'm working on God's Pack. It's about werewolves and aliens and Navy SEALs. I have another story also with Michael. Man, I'm just writing and I don't have the time or even the thinking about how I'm going to do it. So
yeah,
I don't know how to do so many stuff.
I can relate to that.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna show just a couple.
Show us
a couple of stuff.
Show us some art.
Yeah, I did this one when Gary Moore passed away. It's on.
This was the guy. Oh, what's the name of the band? Oh my god! I'm trying to guess. What band is he from? I can't think. Is it
Gary Moore did I don't remember which if we had a band, because when I knew him, when I knew his music, it was when he was already making his solo career. I didn't know he had a band.
What's his name?
So yeah, Gary Moore. Parisian Walkways.
Northern Gary Moore. Then it says Northern Irish musician, singer, songwriter. Oh, never mind. I'm confusing him with someone else. Interesting.
I have this one made on charcoal and pastel.
Ooh, yeah, and charcoals and pastels were the first medium when it came to art on paper, like doing paper art. That's what I used. I used a lot of charcoals and mediums. That's beautiful.
Thank you. My style was deeply, heavily influenced by Jeff Lafferty, because I saw him making his comic that I have here by inspiration, The Berserkernaut. I saw this comic coming alive, and yeah, and I have to have this book because he inspired me to do the Sin Killer. So he's the main responsible for the Sin Killer to be alive. And this is a scene from
Ooh, is this
from The Howling?
Oh, from The Howling.
From the you see only silhouettes in that scene, but I did my own version of that scene, and that's my favorite horror movie. This is Inks and Copics. What next? I love Franz Frazetta.
Real quick, Marv. Phil said Gary Moore rocks, and he said awesome guitars. Yeah, Phil's a musician, so yeah, he's like.
Yeah, I was a bassist. I was a bassist in the early 90s.
He says that's a nice Marv. He's probably talking about the one you were just holding up, I would imagine.
Yeah, the werewolf. Yeah.
From The Howling. Okay. And
this is Frank Frazetta. I love Frank Frazetta. I use one of these photos as a reference for. This is one of my favorite portraits.
So is this on black paper or canvas?
No, this is Mittente's paper. It's black, and I used charcoal, white charcoal.
White charcoal.
White charcoal too. Yeah, and I use the contrast just to.
I love that.
I think this one turned out very nice.
I 100% will credit my exposure to your artwork for this, but one day I messed up on a painting and I decided to paint over it with black, and it ended up creating this concept that I'm doing for, and I've had 3 people pay me for an art piece now, those buyers I was mentioning, and I'm calling them neons on black, because what ended up happening, Marv, is I ended up taking these really bright, super, super bright neon paints I have and painting them on black canvas. And it's this striking difference of contrast.
Yeah.
And it got the attention. The first one I did sold within 24 hours. Then I had 2 buyers commission 2 more. And I literally just, I mean, I haven't had anyone buy one since, but I was not expecting the attention those got. And then he said, yeah, hell yeah, that's one awesome too. Yep, werewolf. So you can tell you're showing art, because Phil's like, woo, we got some art. Show us some art. What else you got?
I really love white on black, because you can do so many great tones. And this is Elvira, or
Elvira.
Yeah, Cassandra Peterson, with Frankenstein and Bela Lugosi over there. And I love the tones that you can do with this, you know, the texture that you can do. Of course, you have thousands of strokes there just to do that hand. But it makes the piece so fantastic, because all the detail that you can do with this is amazing. That's why I love so much working with this, and I have to do it again one of these days, because you can achieve so much only with white charcoal. You don't need nothing else, you know. And
exactly. I've always liked black charcoal on white, but I like that. I might have to try that.
Yeah, you try that. It's just a simple.
Love Universal Classic Monsters. Yep. Okay.
And you have to try it, because you can do so many tones, and you can smudge it, and you can do strokes, and you can do, and it's very for me. It was easier. It was easier for me to do the white than to do the black, because the white just turns. It's different. You see the image in a totally different way.
Yeah.
That you keep on going. You don't stop. You know, it's very different.
I've used white or grays on the black to bring out some emphasis or highlights or things like that. But that's that idea definitely. I've seen the black paper before. I just never bought it.
Yeah, but it's not any kind of paper. You have to have Mi-Tintes paper. I will send you the on Messenger. I'll send you what I use. Is what.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry?
No, I was going to say they have black paper now.
Yeah, but they are papers that are not so good for charcoal, you know. So this one that I'm going to send you, you will. It's very different. You have 2 kind of textures. In one side is very smooth, and in the other side is very textured. And you can use one of both, of course, or one of those. I use the smooth one, because is very nice to do details.
Okay.
The other one, if you do smudge things, the other side, the texture part is good for painters, especially for painters like you. And the other one is good for people that use lots of strokes, like I do. You know, one is more detailed. You can do, you know.
Okay.
And this is Little Devil.
Oh, wow.
This one, I really enjoy this one. I don't know how I haven't sold this one yet, but I'm gonna put it sell.
So do you have, no, I wanted to make sure people knew where to find you. I put your Instagram down at the below, because I think that's where you spend most of your time, is on Instagram.
Yeah, it depends. It depends what app just appears in my near to my finger. So if it's Facebook near to my thumb, I'll go to Facebook,
Okay.
or I'll
Well,
go to Instagram.
I have same thing, man. Like there's days where I feel like I live on Twitter, and there's other days where I feel like I'm on Instagram all day, and then or I'm on Facebook all day, or you and I are probably hanging out in a YouTube stream chats. Like I'm in the
Yeah, it depends.
usually
Yeah.
in a chat watching something if it's on. So I know we talked about the Sin Killer. It's coming out. The first one. You've got everything is going to eventually get to RJ, and then it'll get deployed. I'm all talking military terms. Deploy me my book. And you are,
Yeah.
as I know, you are working on the second one. But what is the best place for someone to reach you if they wanted to commission you or buy something from you? Would it be your Instagram?
Instagram or Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, on Messenger or direct message. I'm not getting the notifications directly from I don't have the notifications on my phone, because every time I turn on the internet, everything is pumping, and I just turn off the notifications. But I usually go and see if I have something, just somebody to say hi or whatever. I usually go and see if I have messages on Messenger or Instagram usually.
Okay. Well,
Sorry.
good. I'm glad. And so now I would assume you're going to begin the rest of your day. It's much later there than it is here. It's like
Yeah,
4,
4:30. It's
5. Yeah.
4:30 p.m. Yeah,
Do you and
I'm
Mrs.
gonna
Marv,
watch.
what do you guys have planned for your evening?
Well, my wife is taking care of the doors. I'm gonna be in a couple of hours with. I'm gonna be in a couple of hours with Mike and Pops, because Mike just got the Singular books, not the proofs. We have already seen them, but we
And
haven't
his
seen
book is
the books
launching
yet.
today. And his book,
Sorry.
Radiant Sight, is launching today.
Yeah. I don't know. I
Never
think
mind.
it's gonna be.
I'll probably see you in chats at some point today, because I'll probably put Madness on as soon as CromCon. I don't know what time.
Yeah, I think it's gonna start in. I think it's gonna start in 30 minutes. I think.
Yeah,
In 30 minutes.
coming up. It's coming up, and I definitely. Oh, that's a good question. You might have too many projects when you sit back and go, which one should I work on today? Like I
Yeah.
was I was telling Rich this, and maybe you can relate, but the whole reason I did the Joker, so my book campaign ended last weekend, as you know, and I literally had haikus in my brain for like a week. I feel like I've had haikus
Yeah.
in I feel like I've had haikus in my brain for months. But I finished out the promotion thing and the campaign weekend thing, and I've been working on all the stuff I'm doing for fulfillment, finishing artwork, putting the manuscript together, proofing, all that jazz. So one night I wanted to watch. This is what I do late at night when I have nothing else to do. I look at art tutorials on YouTube, like how to do this, how to do that. And I looked up one about perspective, like how to draw a table in a forefront and a person standing in the back of the room and then a person in the front of the room. I want to learn more of that depth perception thing. And I accidentally found a Joker tutorial in the same playlist. And I'm like, that looks interesting. So I watched it. I didn't intend to draw the guy. I watched it. The next day, I was bored. I was fucking bored, Marv. And I didn't want any part of haikus or poetry or canvas painting, or I just am like, I need to do something different. So I sketched Joker.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. Just
What happens
it
to
was
me?
enough to do to do
Oh,
fun artists.
I needed to do something. I was telling Rich Parada, I said it was like a palate cleansing. It was like I needed to have a cleansing of the spirit and do something totally unlike me. And
Yeah,
then now,
sometimes we need to do something that we don't relate, we are not related to do, and
yeah,
yeah, that's that click that give us the right direction that this is not
right.
what I want to do. So yeah, we do it just because we have to learn something, you
And
know,
I
just
did,
to experiment a tool, supply, whatever, and then we move on just because it's not our thing. Yeah.
and I also, and I just published another webtoons yesterday. It's, trust me, my digital art isn't even up to par, or even not yet, not yet. I'm learning. I'm learning. You,
Yeah, I'm learning too. We have to keep pushing.
you can relate, right? But the one I did, this episode, this webtoon episode, far more, like every episode I've done so far, I think I have like, I want to say I have like 7 comic webtoon episodes. I kind of up the, I everyone's better than the one before is the point. You know, it's still not the perfect thing. It's still not the greatest thing. It's still not at that point where I feel comfortable, like I could do the comic book, like the art, whatever. But this one that I did yesterday, I left it all in black and white. I did no colors. Because I've been reading some old classic comic books from way back, and I'm digging this black and white thing. I'm digging the lack of color. For someone who paints like I paint, that cleansing the palette thing brings to mind why I'm leaving color out of some of my art these days.
Yeah, I used to do black and white, and now I'm doing coloring. So
You get it? It's like, you know, I'm like, I don't know. I think it's maybe different for all of us, but as soon as something bores me to tears, I'm probably gonna switch it up. I'm probably gonna do something different. I can't do anything that bores me. I can't.
and we shouldn't because
I don't want to
we'll
be
die as
bored.
artists.
I don't want to be bored. And because if I get bored, here's what happens to me. And I don't know if this happens to you, but if I get bored, then I get lazy and I'm sloppy.
Yeah,
And
we want to
and
do that just because we have to do it, and we just
fuck it.
it's
I'm
gonna
like,
be with lack of quality, and just
right.
we just want to do it just to get paid, and that's it.
Yeah, and I have no interest in working like that. I'd
Yeah.
rather not. I would rather not. All right. I had so much fun with you today, and
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
so honored that you agreed to come on Spotlighting the Masters, and I had a
Me
wonderful,
too.
fabulous time with
Thanks
you.
for having
And
me.
I'm gonna hit play on my exit video, Marv. You're more than welcome to sign off while it's playing. You don't have to wait around till the end, but by the time it's done and all that jazz, we'll be offline. So if you aren't there when we're offline, I won't be upset. I won't.
No,
Get
I'm going to be there. Yeah, yeah. Because I have a question for you because I want to ask you something, and
okay.
because I forgot about something that you told me, and I want you to help me to remind what was it. So.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
Well, let me get to it. I'm going to hit that video, and I'll be right back to answer the question.
Okay. Bye.